Good morning. We will talk about the sustainable goal number 11. The goal is to attain sustainable cities, communities, sustainable villages, sustainable lives. Sustainable cities is a very important concept. Today you look at the cities, they are not sustainable. You go to Mumbai. Have you heard about Dharavi? Dharavi is a slum area. About 15 lakh people live there, and they live in, despicable conditions. We cannot live in those conditions, but they are living there. 15 lakh people are living in despicable conditions. This is what we call as poor state of urban management or urban mismanagement. Governments after governments come, but this kind of practices continue. In every large city, you will find some slums. Why should slums be allowed? Why should slums be allowed to be established? Why should slums be there? Why should people live in such conditions? Why can't government come forward and construct low-cost housing and provide very, very cheap houses or such houses which are available to the poor people at very, very low rent, so that the poorest of the poor can stay there. Those people who live in Dharavi, they are also paying something to some people who extort money from them, but they keep on living in such condition, and that has got so much negative impact on their thinking, their mentality, their lifestyle, their psychology, everything. The people living there, they live in abject conditions, very poor conditions. They develop inferiority complex. They are not able to take part in positive activities. The government cannot do anything in these activities. Whenever there is any problem, any crisis, any tragedy, it is beyond management. Today, Corona crisis is causing havocs in areas like Dharavi, and the government cannot do. It is so congested. There is no cleanliness, no fresh air, no clean water, no sanitation. Such is pathetic condition. Every government should keep these issues as their top priorities. It is unfortunate that governments allocate huge budgets towards development of nuclear weapons, towards space research and all these things. They are not so important. These are more important. You are allocating thousands of crore rupees for space research. You want to go to moon, you want to go to Mars, you want to develop nuclear powers. What for? If you cannot give decent life to your own citizens, you don't have the right to spend money on these nonsense things. You should allocate funds first to give a decent life to your citizens. And it is not their fault. A person in Mumbai who is earning, let's say, only 5,000 rupees per month or 8,000 rupees per month, how can that person buy a house of his own? He cannot. So he is forced to live in colonies like Dharavi. And it is the government's duty to ensure that the poorest of the poor can get house at a very low rent. And if the government cannot do it on its own, which obviously government cannot do everything on its own, the government does not have expertise in doing everything, the government's capabilities are also limited, bureaucrats work in officious style and it cannot happen from bureaucracy. So what is the solution? Private entrepreneurs should be encouraged, social entrepreneurship should come forward, and that's why I am speaking to you. You should prepare some plans. You should become social entrepreneurs. Come forward and transform these cities. Every city needs low-cost housing solutions. Every city needs. You can approach the government with some plan and get the government's fund. The government also allocates huge funds under the name of Prime Minister Housing Scheme and this scheme and that scheme, which remains underutilized. So you can contact the government, involve the government, use that funds ask the government to allocate subsidized land at subsidized prices, and thereby you can go for development of low cost housing for the poor. So this is need of the hour. Good cities, we are not talking about elite cities, we are just talking about livable cities. Good cities are those which are happy cities. So we have to convert cities into happy cities. And happy cities are some where people get gardens to walk, they get libraries where they can go and read newspapers, periodicals, good books, good magazines. The happy cities are such where people can participate in some cultural programs. Happy cities are such where people can have good, efficient public transport system. Happy cities are such which have efficient and low cost public transport system. In all these things, we require social entrepreneurs. You should come forward and establish these things. You may take help of the governments and find some solutions to these problems. Smart city does not mean that you have to create a city like New York. No. Every city should have its own style, every city should have its own culture, every city should have its own unique appearances. There is no need to copy paste the models of New York or Dubai or other developed cities. You should develop your own model. There is no need to copy others. But what you have to keep in mind is that everybody should get decent life. Government is allocating huge funds toward development of the cities, but the conditions in villages is pathetic. There is no initiative by government. The government is not allocating budgets. You request to the government that in my village there is no road, and you will get a reply from the government that budget was not allocated for this particular purpose. We don't have budget, and so there is no road. Not even roads. While in cities, what you find are there are parshads, there are ward members who are very politically very powerful, and they get the road constructed every year. There is already good road which might need minor repairing, but no, they will again get another road constructed on that. They have good tie-ups with the construction workers, they have good tie-up with construction contractors, and because of these, year after year, every year roads are constructed. Roads should not be constructed every year. My dear friends, roads should not be constructed every year. You have constructed a road, repair a road for at least 15 years. If you construct and prepare a road, it should be there and for at least 15 years. If there are some minor repairs, get them repaired. But you have to construct road keeping in mind that when you prepare a road, it should be for at least 15 years. But entire budgets are allocated, unfortunately, towards constructing year after year roads in cities and no road at all in villages. And in some areas, the government keep on expanding the size of the roads. I get surprised to see sometimes the government is constructing 200 feet road, sometimes 400 feet roads, sometimes it is 500 feet roads, 6-lane roads. You may say that this is required. This is not required. What is required is that the government should prepare plans, or rather you should come forward and prepare a plan so that we have less and less cars on the roads. We should not have cars on the roads. We should have efficient systems of public transport. Car is the most inefficient system of public transport. And cars should be discouraged. Instead of this, we should have efficient modes of public transport systems. And efficient modes of public transports are such which can have multiple number of people together, but in a safe and good environment, not like Indian buses. We require efficient system of public transport which should have safety of women, we should have safe conditions for physically challenged people, we should have courteous employees. That is what is required. If we will expect everybody to transport using cars, we will not be able to move on the roads. It will become unlivable. There will be huge pollution, huge accidents, large number of accidents, so many problems will be there. So this is not at all ideal. And while other developed countries Other developed countries are primarily urban. India is predominantly rural economy, and therefore it is the duty of our government to encourage development of villages, village infrastructure. That should be the top priority for the government. The government should come forward and go for development of village infrastructure. Today, in corona crisis, villages should be given top priorities. You cannot go for massive construction work in cities because of the corona crisis, but villages are not having corona crisis. We have 6,50,000 villages, and okay, you can say that a few hundred may be having some kind of some patient, corona patient or something like that, fine, but you can still find plenty of villages where you can start construction work, and this will help solve the problem. The migrant workers will get jobs, the poor people will start earning something, and village infrastructure will improve. And village infrastructure is the biggest challenge. If we have good village infrastructure, it will improve the lives of the people. People will not then migrate from villages to cities. People will be happier staying in their own villages. Look at the practices that our ancient kings and planners adopted. Look at them. In old times, king used to offer one cow to the poor people, one cow per home. What was the result? Amazing result. We had excellent Gram Swarajya system in earlier times. It is the Gram Swarajya system of our country is the best system that you can find anywhere in the world. It was a great system indeed, and we have to rediscover it. I'll suggest the government that they should come forward, and whenever they have to recognize the people in villages, they should give them one cow per home. If one village is becoming Adarsh village, ideal village is that village which is having excellent system of sanitation, excellent system of discipline, which is following all government norms, which is following all government regulations, which is maintaining Swachhata. So the government should give one cow per home to every villager in that village. And what will happen? This will transform the lives of the cows, this will transform the lives of the common people. They'll become healthier, they'll be leading better life. So these kind of initiatives are required. Our traditional systems of urban management, rural management, Gram Swarajya are really the best. No one can even bring a better system in comparison to that. The system of construction that our traditional people adopted was also the best, right? You can still find, I come to know that there was a bridge constructed some 800 or 1000 years back in South India. That bridge is still surviving, that bridge is still strong, intact. And we are talking about another Ram Setu. Ram Setu was constructed so many years back, and that is still surviving. Of course, due to long period of time, water has come over it about some 10-12 feet. But if we can construct something on Ram Setu for 10-12 feet, the Ram Setu will come alive again, because it is based on our traditional construction technology. And remember, Indian traditional construction technologies are amazing. They are the best. We abandoned them because every time Britishers told us that we were backward people, we did not know about science, we did not know about technology, and only Britishers told us about all these things, and we continue to teach these things to our students. That is our biggest mistake. We should tell our students that we were the greatest civilizations, we had excellent science and technology, we had excellent systems which the Britishers crushed, and there is a need to revive them again and make people aware of them, because they will help every country, every society, every civilization, right? They will help everybody, the entire world. That is the need of the hour. So, based on today's discussion, let us summarize. We need excellent system of urban management, village management, rural transformation. We need sustainable cities, we need sustainable villages, We need to remove slums completely. We should not have any slums. By 2030, the government should come forward, encourage social entrepreneurs, and see not a single slum is left. We should have such systems where the city life is good. We have excellent public transport system. If we will have excellent public transport system, it will eliminate movement of cars. We should also have efficient system of movement of goods through railway, and if that will improve, I am sure the trucks will also reduce. We need to create such policies that more and more goods are transported through more efficient systems of transportation. Truck is inefficient system of public transportation. Instead of trucks, we should move goods using either railway or waterways. So waterways should be developed, railways should be used for transportation of goods, and we should not think that we should expanding the roads, because there is no end to it. Moreover, we need land for agriculture. If we will keep on expanding the cities, expanding the roads, we will be left with very limited land for agriculture. Already, large number of agricultural land is being used for useless crops like coffee, rubber. We need to grow food. That should be our first priority. Growing food for people and for other living beings should be our first priority. So we need to reverse the policies. We need to invest in development of better cities. Thank you all. Come forward, prepare your plans, business plans, share how you can transform this world.